Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we peel back the layers of corporate filings and try to find companies that are either making genius moves or are walking a very thin tightrope. Hoping they don't fall off, and let me tell you, Tribal Rides International Corp's latest report is giving us a bit of both. This is a big one, their annual report. It's like the company's autobiography for the past year. We're going to break down what happened, especially their financials, and see if this company is on the road to success or stuck in neutral. Plus, we've got some interesting executive moves to discuss. First off, the big news from December 31st of last year. Tribal Rides sold off pretty much all of its technology related to ride-sharing and self-driving cars. They got about $5 million worth of stock in the company they sold it to, Boomerang Inc. This means Tribal Rides is officially done with that business. So what are they doing now? They're pivoting to food technology. Yes, you heard that right, from picking up people in cars to picking up the next big food trend. They think the food tech industry offers huge chances for growth because people want healthier and more sustainable food options. They're looking at buying other don't have any money coming in from operations, so they're still considered in the development phase. Let's dive into the money part because that's where things get really interesting. Remember, they sold off their main business, so the numbers from that are now called discontinued operations. Looking at their statement of operations, we see for the year ending December 31, 2024, they had zero revenue, just like in 2023. That's not great. No sales means no money coming in from their actual business operations. But surprisingly, they reported a net income of over $52,000 for 2024. How? It seems they had some one-time gains from paying off debt and changing their loan terms. So while on paper it looks like a profit, it's not from selling anything. Their operating expenses tell a story too. For 2024, expenses were about $88,000, down from about $137,000 the year before. This makes sense since they were winding down their old business. Now let's look at the balance sheet. This shows what the company owns and what it owes at a specific point in time. As of December 31, 2024, their cash was zero. That's right, no cash on hand. Their total assets were just under around $79,000. When we look at liabilities, what they owe, it's about $797,000. This includes things like accounts payable, meaning money they owe to suppliers, and some notes payable, which are loans. There's stockholders' equity, which is basically what's left for the owners after all debts are paid, was a positive $4.2 million. This is a big jump from the previous year when they had a deficit, meaning they owed more than they owned by about $704,000. This positive equity is largely due to the value of those Boomerang shares they received. The statement of cash flows is crucial because it details how money moved in and out of the company. For 2024, the net cash from operating activities was positive about $66,000. However, this is after adjusting for non-cash items like gains on debt. If we look purely at cash used in operating activities, it was negative. They used about $4.8 million in investing activities, which was mainly the purchase of that investment in drone delivery. Though that seems to be related to the Boomerang sale itself, now reflected as an investment. Financing activities brought in about $4.7 million, which likely includes the ongoing funding from those selling their business. Now, a really important point, the report mentions going concern multiple times. This is a big red flag. It means the company's auditors have serious doubts about whether the company can keep operating for at least the next year. They have no revenue, recurring losses, and a deficit. They need more money, likely from investors, to keep going. This is a common situation for companies in transition, but it's always a risk. The auditors also highlighted going concern uncertainty as a critical audit matter. This means they spent extra time looking at how the company plans to survive. They examined management's plans, checked forecasts, and even looked into legal matters. The auditors have basically said they are not sure if the company can keep its doors open without more funding. Let's touch on leadership. There were some pretty significant changes in February 2025. The old CEO, Joseph Grimes, Chief Financial Officer, Don Smith, and Chief Technology Officer, Stephen Rutraco, all stepped down. Adam Claude took over as the new CEO, and two new directors, Candice Beaumont and John McMullen, joined the board. This signals a major shift in management as they try to navigate this new food tech direction. The report also discusses their internal controls. They admitted to material weaknesses, meaning their internal systems for handling money and information aren't as strong as they should be. Specifically, they mentioned issues with separating duties, oversight, and documentation. They are working on a plan to fix this, but it's something to watch. Looking at who owns the company, the old management and directors held a significant chunk of shares. Joseph Grimes, the former CEO, owned almost 60%, but the big news is that in February 2025, Joseph Grimes sold about 50% of the company's shares to Spark Capital Investments LLC, and then he resigned. This is a clear change in who controls the company. Now for my take, Travel Rides International Corp is in a very delicate position. They've completely changed their business model, moving from tech to food tech. That's a massive pivot. On one hand, they've secured a significant investment through the sale of their old assets, which allows them to explore this new sector. The $5 million investment in Boomerang stock is their main asset right now. However, the lack of any operating revenue and auditors' serious concerns about their ability to continue as a going concern are huge red flags. They have no cash on hand and depend entirely on future funding or the value of their Boomerang investment. The new management team has a lot to prove, and their success will hinge on their ability to secure funding and make smart acquisitions in the competitive food tech space. It's a high risk, high reward situation. They've essentially reset their operations from the ground up. Alright, that's our breakdown of Travel Rides International Corp's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future, especially their move into food tech? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.